Hello there, Andrea. Okay, this diagram, or the diagram, shows how different types of tea are produced. Overall, each kind of tea undergoes different production processes. However, many types of tea share some main steps. Good summary. All kinds of tea are made with fresh tea leaves, which are sorted and cleaned. White tea production is the most simple because it is made basically by steaming and drying the fresh leaves. Tea leaves for green tea often are left to wither. Often? Tea leaves for green. Where are we going now? I wouldn't have put often because that's not clear. We don't really have any indication of the frequency that this happens. So I'd have just said tea leaves for green tea are left to wither, then they are pan-fried or steamed. Once they are steamed, they can undergo a rolling and shaping process, or they can simply be dried and jasmine can be added. Both oolong and black tea leaves are left to wither. Once they are rolled or shaped, oolong tea leaves undergo a short fermentation process. Following this, they are pan-fried and dried. In contrast, black tea is made by a full fermentation process, and then its leaves are fired or dried. All types of tea except white tea can subsequently be further dried, mixed with flowers or fruit, and cooled in order to produce different kinds of scented tea. Excellent. Good. I would perhaps even put a summary at the end here. This is excellent, though. There's hardly any grammar mistakes, and we've got a very good overview here. Yeah, maybe I would have put the scented tea here, yeah, and then I would have put something like something similar to here, just to indicate that we've closed, that we've finished. This is an excellent task 1 description. Good work there, Andrea. Companies are being requested by governments to transfer from major cities to peripheral areas. Good vocabulary. Although this process can bring about some benefits both for cities and for companies, good construction, it is not easy or cost efficient. This can also cause certain negative consequences. Good. Right, this is empty, okay? Because I can put this into an essay about nuclear energy, gender equality, about anything. It's not really specific to this essay topic. So we could just say, this can also cause certain negative consequences, such as argument here and argument here. Okay, and this also helps us with the cohesion and coherence because we give an indication about what we are going to talk about, and then we talk about it. On the one hand, moving companies from major cities, large cities, principal cities to regional locations can be advantageous both for cities and for companies. But be careful about overusing this construction. One clear positive aspect is that cities can become less overcrowded because many workers will no longer be forced to move there when commuting. Good. Consequently, this setting can also be advantageous for employees because they can avoid an unpleasant trafficked daily travel. There's a better way to say this, but I like the argument. So they can avoid an unpleasant commute through congested and crowded roads, or an unpleasant commute through traffic. Another important aspect to consider is that companies can face fewer long-term expenses when moving to regional areas. For example, the rental costs for facilities and public services are considerably cheaper outside of main cities. Excellent. In addition, all the money spared could be used for implementing other sectors of the companies. Therefore, moving away from the cities can be beneficial for some economical and social reasons. Excellent. Fantastic argument. It's clear. It's a very well constructed argument and paragraph, and there's hardly any grammar mistakes, so well done there. Very good. Very pleased with that, Andrea. On the other hand, despite the aforementioned advantages, it should be underlined that the immediate cost of this process would not be negligible for the companies. So we've got a negative construction here, okay, and then we've got a negative verb. Two negatives make a positive, so why don't we say the cost of this process would be expensive for the companies, okay? And I'm saying exactly the same, but I'm saying it in a more succinct, concise, direct way, which is key for effective communication in English. In fact, moving all the personnel, the furniture, and the location is not a simple and economic procedure, and it should be evaluated by an accurate cost-benefit analysis. Super vocabulary. Furthermore, peripheral areas can also suffer from the consequences of this process. This is because all the traffic and crowding, which would be reduced from cities, stands the risk of being transferred to regional locations. For instance, there is the possibility that beautiful country areas would become overcrowded and injured by pollution. In other words, they might transform from small, quaint little areas or counties, villages, to business areas, or worse, to industrial areas with negative effects for the population. Okay, that was surplus to requirement there. Hence, the high costs involved in relocation and the possible risks of a negative transformation for regional areas are the main drawbacks of companies moving away from major cities. Super paragraph, very, very eloquently expressed and very eloquently summarized as well. Very impressed with this, Andrea. In conclusion, while moving companies, transferring, encouraging companies to transfer, okay, just looking for variations there to improve it from principal cities, major cities, capital cities, congested cities, whatever, to peripheral areas can be beneficial for cities and company employees. It can also lead to some drawbacks for regional locations. Moreover, the feasibility of this process should be carefully evaluated by companies with a cost to benefit analysis. Excellent work. Excellent, Andrea. So, you're doing super. If you want to carry on improving, have a look at the links that I've sent you. There's no harm in reviewing these, updating your error list, and also even writing them out again, pen and paper, and implementing the changes that you've heard. And also, remember, with your writing, it's a skill that can deteriorate unless you maintain it. It's a bit like your physical ability, your physical or athletic ability. If we don't constantly use it, it deteriorates. So just bear that in mind. If you've got your exam in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks time, keep writing, keep going. Okay, have a fantastic day and all the best with your IELTS preparation.